Welcome back to the Crochet Crowd, as my friends over at yarnspirations.com. I'm your host Mikey. Today we're going to do this Lattice Shells Crochet Afghan. Really quite cool. This is Bernat Velvet. You need 6 balls complete, 3 of one color, 3 of another. I'm going to be using a different color scheme here on the camera. What I have today is that we have a 6.5mm size K crochet hook, and there's also a crochet diagram on page number 2. So let's go there next and then let's decipher this pattern together. So on page number 2 is this crochet diagram, so you can see how many rows are we going to start off with this half double crochet. If you're not sure what things mean, look at the stitch key, that'll tell you. So we have 1 2 3 4 5. So you have 5 rows here of this beautiful stitch work, and then we start then going into the shells. You'll notice that the shells play within each other. So you got one here, then the next time it appears it'll be in the middle as it takes the indentation in, and then the next time it'll appear here. So the repeat pattern for this is rows number 6 through 9 in order to get this to go. So what we're going to be doing today is I'm going to get you started. After you get your Afghan done to a certain size, then what you need to do is then repeat your stitch work. You'll see these instructions here, and then you essentially will have 5 of these rows of half double crochets on the other side of this Afghan if you look at the photograph. So what we're going to do today is that we need to determine what size that we're going to make, and the pattern already has that, but let's show you more information. So the pattern is suggesting 130 chains in order to make this work. If you would like to change the size, I already figured it out. The multiples are in 8. So if you go 8 8 8 8 8, add 3 at the very end of your chain, and then this will stay completely in balance so that you can have this look. So the multiples are 8 plus 3. So without further ado, let's grab our work and let's begin. 6.5mm size K crochet hook and your Bernat Velvet yarn. So let's create this Afghan. So we're going to just start with a slip knot with your 6.5mm size K hook and put that onto the hook. So you can go 130 as it states in the pattern, or just chain of multiples of 8. So I'm gonna do 3 multiples of 8. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Okay, so there's 1 multiple, 1 2 3 7 and 8. So what you can just do is put that down on something if you'd like to measure it to a bedspread or anything, and when you're satisfied with the length of the chain, just add 3. So 1 2 and 3. So let's begin row number 1 together. So we're gonna go 3rd chain from the hook to do row number 1. You're gonna count it back, so 1 and 2, turn it over and get the back hump of the chain. So just yarning over and going to the 3rd, go to the back hump. You may not see it so well on camera, but I can definitely see that here in person. So just yarning over, pulling through, and then pull through all 3. So the chain that you skipped over is considered a stitch, and so is this. So you're technically looking at 2 stitches. So consider stay on the back loop only all the way down through the chain, and just half double crochet right to your end of your chain, and meet me there in just a moment. So I'm coming up all the way to the end of the chain, just coming into my last one, and this is row number 1. So I'm gonna turn our work. Now here's the thing. What I would like you to do is to consider 2 things. You can follow the pattern as it states. I have a tendency to lose a stitch whenever I do chain 2, and that is my first half double crochet and I jump over. So you have a choice. You can chain 2 and that is a half double crochet, or chain 2 and half double crochet in the same one. And for myself, I never seem to lose a stitch whenever I do it that way versus jumping immediately to the next one. So you have to decide what you want to do. Either the half double crochet, the chain 2 is a half double crochet, or the half double crochet is not a chain 2 and just half double crochet in the same one. Either way, just be consistent and it'll work out. So you're gonna half double crochet yourself all the way across for row number 2, and I'll see you at the end of this row. So I'm coming up to the end of row number 2, and I'm just coming in. Now make sure you don't forget that you did this chain work over here. This is your last stitch in. Okay, so there you go. So let's turn our work and begin. So again, like I told you before, this is row number 3. You're either gonna chain 2 and that is your half double crochet and you jump to the next, or you do it my way. Chain 2 does not count as a half double crochet and you half double crochet in the same one. To me, I never lose a stitch when I do it that way. Your call. So you're just gonna half double crochet yourself all the way across for row number 3. So I'm coming up to the end of row number 3. So these here, it looks like there's 2 stitches, but there's only 1. Remember the way that I showed you? So what this top one here is technically the last stitch. Okay? So you're not losing anything. So don't do that. So let's just turn and do chain number 4, or sorry, row number 4. So chain 2, it's either your half double crochet, or if you just half double crochet in the same one, then that chain 2 doesn't count. And if you just be consistent, choose a way and do it, and half double crochet yourself all the way across then for row number 4. I'm coming to the end of number 4, and this is my last stitch here. Okay, so row number 5, turn your work, and let's begin row number 5. Again, chain 2, it's either your half double crochet, or you can just say it's chain 2 and half double crochet in the same one. It's up to you. And then just half double crochet again all the way across. This is the last time that we'll be doing stuff like this until the end of your Afghan at the very end. So let's continue across row number 5. So let's get all the way across here on row number 5 and go into your very last one, and then that's it. So we're gonna just finish this color. It says to break the color. When it says to fasten off, that means that it's the end of the project. When it says to break, is that you're ending the color now, but you'll be bringing it back later. So just cut your yarn and just feed it through, and what I'm recommending is that you just pull it through and just weave it in at least, you know, about 2 inches in, and therefore you can get that stuck underneath the stitches, so you don't have to worry about really sewing things in. So weave it in and out, and we're gonna turn our work and begin the fun stuff, but we're gonna go back to the diagram first. So let's do that. So turn your work now and just get it ready for the next row. So we're now gonna get ready for row number 6. So we're gonna start a new yarn, and you can see that there is an arrow pointing down, and we're not gonna worry about that arrow right now, so you'll see those. So what we're going to do is that we're going to slip stitch to the back loop only. So see how this is an arch going up? So that means that it's worked in the back loop, and we're gonna attach to the first one. We're then going to skip 3 stitches, so 1, 2, 3, and in the back loop only we're going to put 7 of these double crochets. We're gonna skip another 3 and then slip stitch into the back loop only. Skip another 3, and then in the fourth one 7 double crochets in the back loop, and we're gonna continue to do that all the way across. So let's try row number 6. So let's begin. We're changing our color to something new. Just create a slip knot just for extra security, and just try your best to get the back loop only. So whenever you're looking at crochet, you see 2 stitches. The first one is the front loop, the second one is the back loop, and together they make a stitch. So starting in the back loop only, just the 1 strand, just attach with the slip stitch. Okay, so that's all you need to do with that one. So there's no chaining of ones or anything. Stay in the slip stitch there. So you're gonna skip the next 3. So 1, 2, 3, and in the back loop only you are going to put in a total of 7 double crochets. So go right in the back loop, and let's count these out as we do it. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So now we come back down and we skip another 3. So 1, 2, and 1, 2, 3. Go to the 4th, slip stitch in the back loop only, so pull through and through, and then skip another 3. So 1, 2, 3, go to the 4th and begin to double crochet then 7 again. And I want you to do that same configuration going all the way across on row number 6, and I'll see you at the end of this row. So I'm coming up all the way to the end, and I'm skipping the final 4, and I'm going to slip stitch in the back. If you are missing a stitch or there's one extra, just go right to the end. Honestly, this is if you've lost your way somewhere along here, are you gonna frog it, meaning to take it apart? Probably not. So you can probably fake it at this point, and it will put you back in balance. So slip stitch in the back loop of the final, and it's amazing how yarn can actually really work its way out. So you're just gonna slip stitch, and you're going to get rid of this color once again. So just get rid of this color and then just weave it in to the stitch work, and we're going to worry about that in just a moment, like getting it stuck underneath the next set of stitches. And what I would probably recommend that you do is that you also take care of the first one that you started with. So in the first one, technically we would have buried it here, but it doesn't make sense for this one because there's a gapping space. So just weave it into the existing stitch work that is up here. Okay, so it'll take just a few seconds to do this, and then you're good to go. If you prefer a darning needle or whatever, you can do that too. I'm gonna leave that to your discretion, and you can decide what's right for you. Once you have everything woven in, then what I want you to do is just turn it and then we're gonna begin then row number 7. In row number 7 we're going to chain 2. Now you see that the arching is now facing upward, so it's like a bowl. So looking back down here, this says that it's working in the front loop. So we're gonna play in the front loop this time, and we're gonna just half double crochet in everything going all the way. You'll notice that these arrows here, they're pointing to go into the top of this section here. Okay, so whenever you see that, you're going right down over top, and what that does is it helps to bury it, to separate the colors that you see, and we'll get to that in just a moment. So let's do that, row number 7. So let's begin row number 7. Gonna create a slip knot and watch what I do. So we're going to join it here. So we're going to join it where the other one is joined here. See that one down? So you're just gonna sink down into there. That's why that arrow is pointing down. So you're not joining it to the actual blue. So you're just gonna join it with a slip stitch. Let's try it again. So just going right in, slip stitch, and now you can chain 2, and that counts as your half double crochet, but I'm telling you that I have not been doing it that way. So I'm going to, in the same stitch, I'm going to half double crochet in the front loop, and I've already grabbed it by the front loop below. So I'm just wrapping this yarn to get it stuck as I go. So there is my first stitch. So in the front loop only of all these double crochets, and again just work your way through it and just go in the front loop and just bury in your stragglers as you go. So by doing the front loop here, it creates a textured look on the front. So there's a total of 7 double crochets, so therefore there's 7 half double crochets in each one of these shells. Once you get used to this particular pattern, it goes pretty quickly. So now I've just buried in my yarn. So what I'm gonna do now is that I'm gonna get that out of my way. So now I get a good clean shot of it as far as like filming, but also as a crocheter. So I would have done that even if I wasn't on camera today, and continued then just to the front loop. Now here I'm gonna go right into the existing one that's already there. Okay, so it's there. Sorry, I'm just going, yeah, it's half double crochet. So I'm just going right into that existing one and half double crocheting, and what that does is it visually breaks up that shell work. So then I start on the next double crochet in the front loop only, and continue to do that all the way until the next time I hit that space in between. So eventually I'll get beyond the shell work, and I'm going to go immediately down into the one that's already there, and that covers over top. Okay, and then you continue to do that all the way across. So do this all the way across, and I'll see you at the end of this row. At the end of this row, the last one is right here. Okay, so you're gonna go down into that existing one, and then that's it for that color. So let's now finish that yarn off and just weave it in to the stitch work, and then what we're going to do is turn our work and then begin the next row, and we're gonna be using that other blue again, but this time the blue shells are gonna change their location, and we'll take you to the chart in just a moment. So turn it around and you can see how things have worked out on the back side. So this is, or on the good side, this is the right side of the project. Let's start row number 8. We're gonna start in the back loop only, chain 3, counts as a double crochet, and then 3 more into the same one, and then we're gonna reach to the middle one, and we're gonna slip stitch into the back loop only, and then reach over. So you're skipping the same amount of stitches, so you're skipping 3, slip stitch in, skipping 3, and then put another shell work just like you did here into the back loop, and so on. So let's begin row number 8. So let's begin row number 8, starting with the slip knot just as extra security, and stay into the back loop only as you join. So just one strand, and you're going to chain a total of 3. So just slip stitch it first just to join it, and then chain 3. So 1, 2, 3, and in the same slip stitching where you just did the join, I want you to put 3 more double crochets. So 1, 2, and 3. So with the chaining of 3 plus these 3, that gives you a number of 4. So you're gonna come to and skip over 3 of these stitches here, and then come right to the middle. If I were you and you were me, look for the middle one, and immediately that's the one you're going to go into, and you're just gonna slip stitch into the back loop only. So if you can look for things instead of having to excessively count, it's a lot easier. So your next one is way down here. Okay, so you have to skip your amount of stitches, so just follow it across, and in the back loop only you're gonna put 7 double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Just like that. And then again, here is your next shell, so you can count over the stitches that you need to count, or look for where you think it is in the middle and just slip stitch it. Sometimes it's just easier to cheat the system. So let's move over now. We're going to go to the next middle one, and you put your 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and then come to the middle, slip stitch, and then do your final edge. So in the very final one that you'll do, it's in the back loop only, you'll put a total of 4 double crochets when you get there. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and you're technically now done. So I want you just to fasten that off, weave in your ends, and let's do row number 9. Let's turn our work and do row number 9. So row number 9 is exactly what you already did here in row number 7. So you're working in the front loops only. So let's get rid of any of these loose ends that I have, and we're going to begin. So let's create a slip knot, and working in the front loops only, come into the top of the first one here and attach, and your chain 2 can be your half double crochet, or you can just say that doesn't count and just half double crochet in the first one to keep your counts. If it's easier for you, you can decide. And then continuing in the front loops only all the way to the other side like you already did, is that I want you to put 1 half double crochet in each of the front loops. Now what you want to do is that when you get to the middle section here, you're gonna go right into this existing one there to cover over the stitch to make it look awesome. So continuing just to the front loops only. Okay, so there's your 4 filled in. So the next one here is right into this existing one. So just go right in and just finish it, and that does a covering up of that particular shell work. So starting in the next one, just half double crochet again all the way across to the next gapping space, and then just fill in that gapping space right into that one that's already there. Please do that all the way across for row number 9. So I now just finished off row number 9. So the repeat pattern now is from 6 to 9. In order to finish this off at the very top, you're going to want to finish on doing 1 extra of these shells here. These are the ones that are full all the way across, not the ones that have a half. So you want to do that. So you just want to keep repeating. So you can reverse this video back to row number 6 and redo it all the way again if you understand the pattern at this point. If you would like to finish this one here, you're going to finish this final color here, and then you're going to bring back that blue one more time so that we can get a clear shot all the way across of this, and then I'll show you how to finish the final. When you're ready to finish, you're going to do 1 extra row of number 6. So turning your work, and let's start there. So we're just going to go into the back loop only, and you're still going to do just your slip stitch to do that one, and then reaching over. So you can reach over to the one, and you can count your stitches as well, and staying in the back loop only you want to reach over and do 7 double crochets, and 7, and then just slip stitch to the top one. So you're skipping a total of 4 stitches if you want to be technical about it, or just look for the top one. Should work out for you in the back loop only, and then continue then filling in these. So with 7. So please do that all the way across. You already know how to do this. We've done it before. And then meet me back here in just a moment. So I'm coming all the way across, and I'm just going to slip stitch into the back loop only, the final. And we're going to get rid of this color. And now the next 5 rows we are going to finish it off so it looks like this. But it's not so easily done. It's not just half double crochets. We've got to make sure that we finish this pattern out properly to make it look like it belongs. So let's just finish this color off, and let's start then row number 11. So let's turn our work and start the next row. So we're concluding the other side of the Afghan, so it's the finishing. So we're gonna start off and we are going to just maintain the pattern as we know it, and through the back loop only you're going to join. Chain 2, it's either your half double crochet or it's not. You've already made that decision by this part in the tutorial, I think. Oh, I hope so. And I'm just going to half double crochet in the same one. So for this one here I want to make sure that I'm finishing it off right, and I'm going to do a half double crochet in the back loop all the way across. Okay, and that includes the one that is right in the middle. I want to go right back into this pace here to make it look like that it's finished. So please do that all the way across in the back loop only. So now that I'm all the way back across, you can see that it looks finished now, and now I'm going to progress. So the next 3 rows are all identical to each other. So all you just need to do, and I'm only gonna show it to you one time because you've already been doing it in your pattern, is that you're going to chain 2. It's either your half double crochet or it's not, and I'm gonna half double crochet in the same one, and I'm just gonna go back and forth, and I'm gonna do a half double crochet in each of the stitches in here. So I want a total of 3 rows in order to do half double crochets back and forth, and then I'm technically done my Afghan for today. So this would be how you would do a sample of this kind of idea. It's actually not too hard once you get used to the pattern and used to the yarn. I think that you could actually pound this off pretty quickly. So let's meet you at the end of this video. When you get to the end of your project, I am getting there now, and I am going to just use a tapestry needle to do in the final ends. You can also use a tapestry needle for all of your ends. It's completely up to you, but at the very end for me it makes sense. You can weave it in, but the problem is that because there's really nothing to grab onto, it can come out. So I'm just gonna put it in a tapestry needle, and I'm just gonna drag it up underneath the stitches and just go about 1 inch across, and don't pull it to the point where it's gonna change the shape, and go back in the other direction through a different path, and then back one more time. So you would have noticed then here in my sample, and I think it exists on the main one as well, is that because you're doing the lattice work it does have more tension, so it does suck it in a little bit more here, but you know when you're draping this over things you'll notice that it will look really quite amazing and the bottom will come out. So this is a really neat idea. I think it's awesome, and you can see that you get the lattice work on both sides, but clearly one side looks more different than the other. This is the good side here. As you see, this is kinda sucked in and the lattice work is kinda jumping off. So until next time, it's Mikey on behalf of the Crochet Artist with my friends over at yarnspirations.com. Have a great day. We hope to see you again real soon. Bye bye.